Welcome to Vital Science Consulting, where the more successful you are, the more successful we will be. In this series, we're discussing how to achieve balance between mind, heart, body, and soul, because business is about more than one thing. And we talked about excuses, we talked about mindset. So what's the next step? Well, we need to take action. Today, we're going to talk about taking that first step. And I think Kathleen is the person that's going to do the coaching today for us. So Kathleen, over to you.
Yeah, we've spent the last sessions talking about identifying your excuses, also identifying the mindset you have. And what I want to talk about today is taking action. Often you'll come away from a seminar or a conference going like, that all sounds amazing. In theory, I know what to do. But now how do I actually implement it? How do I actually take that action and practice what I was taught? And one of the things that Robin Sharma said beautifully is that even the smallest implementation is worth much more than the grandest of intentions. And Gerard referred to that when he said, you know, we've all got friends who are planning to do these amazing things someday when they get round to it. And often that day just never comes. So you've got to start taking action, because when you take action, that is when you'll find your results. One of the things people often do is that they set themselves up for failure at the beginning because their action steps are simply unrealistic, or they just expect too much from themselves too quickly. And there's a wonderful philosophy that actually came out of the Second World War, when Japan was looking to rebuild their economy after the devastation of war. And it's a philosophy called Kaizen, K-A-I-Z-E-N. And what Kaizen means is good change. Now, in the world of business, it's often used in industry to talk about changes either in the supply chain or in logistics. But you can apply it to your personal development and to micro and small businesses as well. And we have found it to be an incredible philosophy. So there are different ways to implement Kaizen. And the way that Gerard and I like to think about it is as a philosophy that looks at improving small things just by 1% every day. So in some ways, Kaizen is almost the opposite of the philosophies that say go big or go home, rather than sort of about setting over ambitious goals. It's about saying, all right, let's have a look and see what we can realistically change by a small amount every single day to improve our business just by 1%. Now, Gerard and I, as you know, talk a lot about the fact that we've taken up running because it's been an important part of our journey. But I'd like to use a fitness example just because I think it helps to understand the idea of Kaizen and how it can help you to achieve really big goals, but in a way that it feels very manageable. So as we've been getting fitter, one of the things Gerard and I wanted to learn how to do was to plank. It's that exercise that really develops your core strength. We never done it before, so to set ourselves the goal of being able to plank for a minute really felt overwhelming. So what we did is we said, all right, every morning when we get up to exercise, we'll literally just add a second on. So we started off at 15 seconds, next day 16 seconds, and just by consistently doing that every day within no time, a minute was actually pretty easy, and we could push ourselves even further. So what I'd like you to think about is, if you could zone in on one thing that you could just improve by 1% every day, what would that look like? Often business owners think it's the big things that they need to change in order to achieve their financial goals. But sometimes it's something small in the business, maybe a process or procedure that's not being done as efficiently as it could be. And if you can work on just improving that 1% every day, by the end of a month, you'll have made a massive improvement in your business. There are 3 steps that you can take to implement this. And we've spoken a little bit about these before in previous sessions. So one of them is to have a look at, during your day, what takes up a lot of your time and energy and perhaps doesn't really make you money? Is there anything you could stop doing to become more efficient? It's not always the case, but in many micro and small businesses, this will often relate to when you check your email and how often you check your smart device. So one of the areas to look at is, are you wasting time anywhere during the work day? Are these things that you could be doing after hours? Because often these are not things that necessarily bring in income. The other thing to do is to have a look at that you can do 1% better. How are you implementing it? And schedule a time to review it. So what are you doing that's working and that you should keep doing? What are you doing that hasn't really worked? And is there a way to change it? And Gerard had shared a lovely strategy. I don't know if you want to mention how our guests and viewers can access that.
So that is a strategy that Kathleen just talked about, and I would like to add something now to give you another tool, so you can just start implementing this. So there's the tool that I used for the last year. It's called CICR, like scissor. So basically is that when you have a situation, let's say, what didn't work in my business? We looked at what can I change, improve, create, remove to make this better or make it work. Most of the time when something is not working, we just throw it out the door. And sometimes just with a little bit of fine tuning, we can actually make this work because we put so much effort in it. I do the same for things that work in my business. So what can I change, improve, create, remove to make it better? Because we said you can never get comfortable in business. You have to keep on innovating. And when my clients ask me, but how do I keep on doing it? This is how you do it. If you want to do that 1% better all the time, and you ask these 4 questions all the time, you will move forward. If you teach your staff and your employees to use this, you will even see better results. After using these strategies, seeing the success, you will do more of it, because what gets rewarded gets repeated. After the break, we're going to speak to Suzanne Keating. She's a psychologist, and I just thought this is a really good idea to talk about some positive stress, because I'm sure you are stressing about implementing all these things that we've talked about, and that stress is actually not such a bad thing. So please stay tuned for Suzanne's interview. See you after the break.